Hello again, friends, and welcome back to Max's Cards and Dice Dugout. Thanks for stopping by. Robert Max here, and this is episode number 14. Now that the Time Travel Baseball Celluloid Series has been completed, with Bingo Long's Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings winning the series 4-2 over the Major League movie Cleveland Indians, it's time to get the Strat-O-Matic Oldtimer Kings King of the Hill tournament underway. And I thought before I did that, I would just do a brief intro for the tournament. But before we get to that, there's a couple things I'd like to talk about concerning the Strat-O-Matic version that I have. And these comments came from YouTube viewer Joel. First of all, he had mentioned when I did the unboxing or the presentation of that vintage, I guess you'd say, Strat-O-Matic box game that I purchased off of eBay, it came with these three dice, I guess you'd say. The two small blue dice and the one small yellow die. And I wasn't sure if they were Strat-O-Matic issued dice or if they were something that came, like from an Avalon Hill game, because they kind of do look like that in a way. But anyway, Joel said that Strat-O-Matic definitely issued colored dice in the late 70s, just not in the combination that I have here. So these may have come from various games. I'm not sure, but I'm going to use these when we play the tournament. This, of course, will represent the white die, the yellow one. That was the first thing. And secondly, when I did the video where I revealed the pitcher hitting cards that I purchased from Glen Head, I only looked at card number one and compared the new card to the old card number one. And if you remember, I am missing a pitcher's hitting card 1 and 2 from the original set, which is why I purchased these newer cards from Strat-O-Matic. Well, Joel pointed out that there is one difference between the original 4 pitcher hitting cards and the new ones that are being issued by Strat-O-Matic, and that comes on pitcher hitting card number 4, and it's at the 1-2 result. The original card has a split, a home run 1-11 and a double 12-20, where the newer cards at 1-2 have a different split. 1-9 is a double and 10-20 is a single. So in the spirit of the retro feel that I want to have for this tournament, I'm going to use the original pitcher hitting cards. The only change is that I have to use one of the newer cards that I purchased, just because I don't have two number 1 and 2s, I should say, from the original set that I purchased. But I have verified all 4 cards. Or I should say in this case, card 1 and 2, all of the results are the same. So I'll be using these 4 pitcher hitting cards in the Oldtimer Kings tournament. All right, and like I mentioned, the dice. Oh, and one other thing, I know I just mentioned about the retro feel of things. I am not going to use the split deck. I don't believe you get a true random 1-20 unless you're going to shuffle that deck every single batter, and that just seems kind of tedious, so I'm going to use a D20. But other than that, let's get to the introduction of the Oldtimer Kings tournament. Okay, guys, we're back. You got your first glimpse of the Oldtimer King tournament mascot named Oldie. Yeah, I know, it's a little bit silly, but this is all about having fun. And let's take a look at the house rules or guidelines that I'm going to be using for playing this Oldtimer Kings tournament. Number 1, we're going to be playing Strat-O-Matic Basic. Of course, we have no other option in this case because these Oldtimer team cards are one-sided basic only, but I will be incorporating the single and double asterisks and the double plus signs when the situation presents itself. Number 2, no DHs. The pitchers will bat using the 4 pitcher hitting cards that I showed just a little while ago. Number 3, 10 wins to advance. So the first team that wins 10 games will advance to the finals. They'll be the home team for the first 2 games of the finals. The second team to reach 10 wins will be the visitor for the finals for the first 2 games. And those finals are going to follow a 2-3-2 home field format. Number 4, the loser falls to the bottom of the hill. So if you're up at the top and you lose, you're going to have to wait until your turn comes up again. Number 5, it's a 4, what I'm calling team game pitching rotation. In other words, if you're playing a game and you lose and drop to the bottom of the hill, your pitching rotation is frozen at that last game that you just played, and you do not get to restart your, say, number 1 starter when you get back to challenge for, the king position, because so many games have been played. They're team games, so I think you understand what I mean with that. Number 6, pitcher fatigue. Now, of course, the basic game doesn't have any pitcher fatigue, but I did come across an optional sort of homebrew thing on a blog online, and I'm going to go with this. It's, as you can see, I have in parentheses 11, 7, and 4. What that is that every pitcher gets a stamina number, and starting pitchers will get an 11, starter relievers a 7, and relievers only will get a 4. And you lose stamina points for every inning pitched and every run given up. And when you reach, when you run out of stamina points, all Z results come from column 5, and all errors are turned into hits. So in other words, a 1-base error become a single, 2-base error, double, and so on. And finally, injuries are going to be included. And of course, that's going to also be team games, just like the pitcher rotation. All right, so let's take a look at the hill as it stands here at the opening of the tournament. The first thing you're going to see here is the elusive and sought-after Eddie Goodell Cup, which is going to be awarded to the winner of this tournament, whenever that may be. But as you can see, there's our lineup of the teams as they challenge for the king position. You see, for starters, the 53 Dodgers, by luck of the draw, or rather luck of the die roll, are currently the starting king of the hill for the beginning of the tournament. So they're holding the oldie icon in possession for the beginning. And they'll be challenged by the 61 Tigers, who will travel to Ebbets Field for game 1. But right below that, we have the 1950 Phillies. They are waiting in their clubhouse at Connie Mack Stadium. Oh, no, that's wrong. Excuse me. Shibe Park. It wasn't Connie Mack until, what, 50, I don't know, mid-50s, 54, 55, I don't know. Speaking of Connie Mack, it was my first baseball game in 1969 was at Connie Mack. I don't remember a whole lot about it. I was 5 years old. I do remember being there. I remember it being dark and dreary and kind of chilly. We all had jackets on. So it was either early in the spring or late in the fall. I don't recall. That was my first Major League Baseball game. I don't know who the Phillies were playing, but I was there. Wish I had the ticket stub. And then the following year, I have a lot more memories of this. In 1970, right after the Mets had won the World Series, my father and I, both being Cardinals fans, traveled to Shea Stadium and saw a true doubleheader. And I have a lot of memories of that game, especially that Reinhold beer sign in the outfield. Okay, I am really digressing, but I have a habit of doing that. Okay, so anyway, you can see the lineup. Dodgers are the current king of the hill, will be challenged by the Tigers, and whoever wins that game will face the Phillies, and we'll continue on from there. So that's going to do it for this episode. If you hung around, I know it's a short one. Hopefully you did. Thanks for sticking it out. Thanks for subscribing if you are a subscriber. If you're not, please consider doing so. And the tournament's going to be starting soon, right around the corner, plus a few other sims that I have going on. I'm going to get them on the table as well as time goes on and time permits. That's going to do it for this episode. Until next time, take care.